Hi, this is Lucia with The Art of Love. I'm a dating and relationship expert specializing in helping you get your ex back or to get over your ex. And this week, I'm actually finally going to talk about moving on from your ex. I've been reluctant to make this video just as you have been reluctant to move on from your ex. So let's both do something we didn't want to do. But first, I want to welcome back the No Contact Army. If you've been having trouble staying in no contact, be sure to download my app Silencio. The link is underneath every video and every podcast. And just hit the panic button if you need help staying in no contact. And if you too would like to join our No Contact Army, just hit the subscribe button and the bell notification and you're in. And to read our manual, go to nocontactsecrets.com where you can read 2 free chapters before purchasing the book. The link is underneath every video and every podcast. Okay, so let's talk about moving on. What does that mean? Well, it basically means that person is no longer in your life, or if they are, the nature of the relationship has changed and you didn't want it to. So first I'll go over some of the reasons why people find it hard to move on, and then I'll tell you how to go about letting go. So when people find it hard to move on from someone, it's often because they're still living with the what ifs and the possibilities that they felt the relationship had. So when your relationship ends, all the hopes and dreams that you had for it don't end at the exact same time. However, if all your energy is tied up in the past about what could have been, then how can you move forward or live in the present? Well, you can't. Another reason that it's hard to move on is because when we lose someone, our ego is bruised. We had expectations of how, again, we wanted the relationship to go, and it didn't go that way. So it's actually your ego that's hurt, not you, because the ego wants to control situations and people, and you've lost control. But the risk you take when you get into a relationship, or even when you date someone, is that it may end. And that's the price you pay. That's the price of admission. People change, circumstances change. That's life. You can't control everyone and everything. Another reason people find it hard to move on is the stories that you tell yourself about this person. You think, oh, this was the love of my life. This was my person. I'll never find anyone better. No one will ever want me again. I'll never feel this way again. So, of course, you're not going to want to let go if that's how you feel. But feelings aren't logical, as I've said many times before. That is just your fearful mind talking. You probably will find someone better. Someone else will want you. They were obviously not the love of your life. So don't listen to your fearful mind. And you may be telling yourself that they were everything you ever wanted. That's another lie. But that's not true. I mean, look at it this way. Someone breaking up with you isn't everything you ever wanted, is it? Someone who didn't see you as their person isn't everything you ever wanted. Someone cheating on you or lying on you or taking you for granted or giving up on you isn't everything you ever wanted. Why are you forgetting those little details? You're looking at this through rose-colored glasses. So if you want to move on, you're going to have to take off those glasses. Now, you may also be thinking that because I'm suffering so much from this breakup and finding it so hard to move on, it's because this was a really important relationship. Well, not really, not necessarily. I mean, I once dated a guy for just a few months, and it took me longer to get over him than the actual relationship lasted. But that didn't mean it was an important relationship. It just has to do with things that it triggered within you, the relationship or the person triggered within you. Another reason you may find it hard to let go is because you gave more than you got, and now you feel like you didn't get a return on your investment, so to speak. But that's on you. No one forced you to give more than you were getting. And if you were giving just to get, again, that's on you. So when you do give, it should be without expectation of getting something back from your partner. You give because you want to, not because you want to be reciprocated. So keep that in mind in your next relationship. Something else that might be going on is you think, oh, I'll never meet anyone like them again. Well, you're right. I mean, there's only one of them. But you need to move on in order to meet someone who you not only feel good with, but who you're actually compatible with and they want to be with you. That's more important than how you feel about someone who doesn't want to be with you, because ultimately that doesn't feel so good. No matter how strong your feelings are for someone, if it's unrequited, if they don't feel the same way, then it doesn't feel good. Then what's the point? Why are you still there? Now, this is going to be a new concept for almost everyone. If you can't move on, it's because you put that person on a pedestal. That's not the new concept. Just bear with me here. Usually the reason for that is because you want to be like them, not necessarily because you want to be with them, okay? You're projecting your unfulfilled wants and desires for yourself onto your ex. They have qualities that you're really attracted to and admire, qualities that you lack but desperately want. So instead of working on yourself to get these qualities, you're looking to your ex to supply them. Except that now they're no longer here, so basically you want them to save you from having to do the work yourself. They were your source of self-worth, and you keep thinking about them because your psyche is pushing you to take action and to work on yourself so you can actually have those qualities that you admire in them that won't allow you to let go. So instead of doing the work, you'd rather be with someone who has those qualities. Like, let's say someone is very friendly and popular, but you tend to be more of a lone wolf. Instead of coming out of your shell and working on being more friendly and popular, it's just easier to be with someone who already has those qualities. But now if they're gone and you still want to be like that, you're going to have to do the work to get to how you want to be. Does that make sense? And a lot of times it's not even the person that's hard to get over. It's the relationship and how it made you feel, at least during the good times. You're mourning only the best parts of that person, and that person doesn't exist because every person has their good sides and their bad sides, and you're just choosing to look at the good and you're forgetting the bad. So getting over someone is logical, not emotional. The relationship was emotional. But your decision to move on has to be logical because you can't just decide to not have feelings for someone anymore. When people ask, well, how can I move on from this person? What they're actually asking without knowing is, how can I move on from this person as fast as possible? And that's just not possible. Unless, of course, you're me. Haha. I don't waste time. But I know most of you aren't there yet. So at some point, you have to make a logical decision as to where you want to go. Do you want to stay stuck in the past, or do you actually want to move forward? People say they want to move forward, but they don't really want to do the work that it takes to actually move forward. And sometimes it's because the fab effect, which I talked about in my video, 7 Reasons Why the No Contact Rule Works on Everyone, is taking place, in that you start to forget the bad times and only remember the good. So one way to move on is to actually make a list of the bad times and the bad qualities, the times you were disappointed, and whenever you're feeling down about the relationship ending, just look at your list and you'll have a quick reminder as to why you don't want to be in that relationship anymore. Or why, even if you do, you shouldn't be in that relationship anymore. Another way to move on is to, of course, focus on yourself, level up and work on the parts of you that need working on so that in your next relationship you'll be better. Because if you never work on yourself, then your relationships will never improve, you will not attract better people, and it's constantly going to feel like Groundhog Day. Another way to get over your ex is to distract yourself. You need to keep your mind occupied so you're not constantly focused on yourself. So take on something that's going to require a lot of time and focus. Like right now I'm taking a 3-month intensive marketing course, and it has taken up a lot of my time. And I'm not even trying to get over anyone. So I don't have enough time to work out, which to me is a crime. I'm turning down all social invitations. I'm focused every day and every night on making sure I'm moving forward with this course so that I can finish on time. So take on a project like that. You know, moving on is a conscious decision where you say, I don't want to feel like this anymore. I deserve better. And even though I may still have feelings for my ex, I'm going to do what it takes to move on. I love myself too much to put myself through this any longer. So moving on is ultimately an act of self-love. You have to know your worth. And when you know your worth, you will not settle for someone who's not treating you right or doesn't feel the same way about you as you feel about them. Letting go is hard, but trying to hold on to someone who doesn't want to be there is even worse. But if you find that you just cannot move on, then sometimes it's time to speak to a therapist. And finally, I want to give you a Cinderella analogy about moving on. And this is for both guys and girls. And it is this: if the shoe doesn't fit, it's time to quit. Haha. They're not your person. Time to move on and try on another shoe, or maybe many other shoes. Who knows? So I want to hear from you. Comment below and let me know why you think you can't let go of your ex. Or if you are letting go, what are you doing in order to be successful at it? And in the meantime, if you would like my help to get your ex back, you can contact me at theartoflove.net and we will send you the rates. The direct link is below every single video and podcast. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. If you're listening to this as a podcast, remember to rate and review. And finally, remember that love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.